Hi, everyone. My name is Bruce Lombardo, and the camera's fuzzy. With me today is Mrs. Janet from another planet, and we just watched the 1983 film Eddie and the Cruisers.
hmm
And Janet, tell me, how many times have you seen this movie?
About, I'd say 10, 10 times.
You saw it in the theaters first time?
No, saw it at home
Did
with
you
my
see it?
mom.
Did you see it during the
Yeah.
big push that HBO had? Because they put it in heavy rotation in '84,
hmm
from what I was noticing, from what I was reading about, and the push for it was kind of like a Viacom double penetrator attack. And I know that sounds a little bit verbose or discussing for some, but follow me. They have this movie and it didn't make money. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some of the more notable songs on high rotation on MTV, make this movie available within about a week of that, and everybody and their sister gets a chance to watch it.
Well, if you had HBO.
Yeah, if you've got HBO.
hmm
Which '83, nope, didn't have access to it. I had to go to grandparents' house to see it, but
Yeah.
I didn't see it, and I was 8 at the time, so this movie really wasn't focusing on me back then. If I'd grown up enjoying more arena rock as a kid, I would say this movie would have spoke to me a lot harder. But uh, this is the first time I've seen it.
Yeah.
So you've seen this movie about 10 times. It's one of your more favorite musical films, and you're not really quote unquote a musical super fan, but like there's
But
some
see, I didn't really see this too much like a musical. I saw it more as like a documentary, even
yes,
though it wasn't a real documentary. But to me, that's how it was filmed. It was filmed
it's
to
filmed
be
very much like a
a
documentary.
documentary. Yeah. And the reason I watched it is because I went to visit my parents and my mother had it on VHS. And uh, it was years later when after it came out. So I didn't see it on HBO until years after. But the thing is it was really good because I thought it was adorable because I was sitting in the kitchen playing dominoes with some other relatives, and my mom and dad and some others were watching the movie, and the music was good. So I remember singing along and standing up a couple times because my mom and dad were dancing to the music. And my mom brought this out. I went and got it because I have it now that my mom passed, and I took it. It was an Eddie and the Cruisers album that she had that she bought because she thought she loved the music. She said she didn't so much like all of the songs because she said they really weren't her style, but some of the songs they played earlier on reminded her of when they were young. Is what she said. She could tell it was a little different, but that she really enjoyed it, and yeah, she really enjoyed the music from the movie.
It's got some infectious grooves in it. I must admit to that, and I think that the soundtrack of this movie is probably its strongest part for me.
hmm
Uh,
Definitely.
it's the documentary esqueness of it. Like you can film a movie like a documentary and it can come out really good. Like District 9 starts off as a documentary.
hmm
Final Countdown starts off like a documentary, or a day in the life of a Navy sailor on an aircraft carrier. Um,
hmm
this movie,
Did we see that?
what? Yeah,
Did we do Final Countdown? Okay, I was gonna say I thought we did that one.
yeah. We no, you'd never seen it before, and we had friends in the chat. Splash 2 zeros. Yeah, they're all about that movie, and that's a great Navy film, and it does show like an accurate portrayal of life on board an aircraft carrier. It also has a bunch of sailors, which are literally filmed just doing their daily business, which is one of the smartest things that they could have done with that movie.
hmm
This film, for me, I don't know what it was, but within the first 10 minutes, I was not gripped. I had to focus and refocus and get the fucking keyboard out of my hands and not put my hands on my miniatures and not paint. But this movie just did not do me any favors whatsoever.
I'm really
It's
sad
really
about that
weird. It's really
because
weird because it's got Joey Pants, who I usually like, but in this movie I just didn't like. He's good when he can play like a villain or a dick, like in Midnight Run or in The Sopranos. I like him like that. This
yeah,
movie, he doesn't carry that. So okay, no big deal.
I liked it because to me it detailed all the characters, who they are, how they became what they were,
Yeah, and it
and
goes through the
how
flashbacks.
how they all met each other, uh, changed their lives, and how it affected them over a period of time. Because you have time that goes by, it's like 18 years
Yeah.
time span, almost 20. And you get to see how they mature, where they end up later on in life after touching stardom, just a slight touch because they were just starting to get noticed. And I think they had like one or two songs that were doing well on the radio, supposedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the characters. And when Tom Berenger met them, they were on the rise. The rest of the band in what was it, 1962
Yeah,
or 63, right in there,
something like that.
and they had like this, uh, I don't know, this rebel way about them. Now, not so much every band member, because I like the fact that they each wore their own clothes. Like the drummer wore those little, I don't know what you call those shirts that had the collar on them with the little design and the button downs. Uh, like a Buster Brown type outfit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And those little leather shoes and things like that. And Eddie and his girlfriend wore more rebel, like they were riding around on a motorcycle, or that type of stuff. And the other band members, in between the thin tie, jacket was what the one guy that wanted to be their manager type thing was trying to help them get in the record business and push their record, and try to get them concerts and things like that. But what I really liked about was the grittiness of how hard it was to write music, get along with it, and how when they were writing, how each of them put in their little bit to make it, to see how it evolved. I like that quality of this, and I think that's one reason why I liked it so much, because I make things. I crochet, I sew,
Like
I
the
do
creation
cosplay.
process.
Yeah, it's like it's art basically. Singing, poetry, writing books, writing screenplays, all those things are a form of art and creativity. And I think that's one reason why I was drawn in so much. Like I said, my mother liked it simply because she enjoyed not so much the story, but she loved the songs in it. And my dad liked it too. They liked the music, and they liked a couple of the actors. And my dad said he liked the lounge uh, parts the most, because he had relatives that lived in Las Vegas, and every summer we would go to Vegas. So I could see why he would, be attracted to certain parts of the movie or whatever. But she thought it was a fun movie. She said you could get up and dance to it. It was fun. It was a little bit dramatic and kind of romantic, the trio, love trio, type of thing. So that's what she said about it. I liked it more because when I watched it, I was pulled right in right at the beginning, simply because it had that documentary feel, and I love documentaries about history, murder mysteries, all those things. So I was pulled right into it, and the music kept me in it. Okay, so that's how I looked at it. But yeah, I really, really loved it. I thought it was really well done. The actors were excellent. I was surprised how many actors were in it. At the time when I first saw it, I really didn't know any of them. I had never even heard of Tom Berenger before this movie. The young woman that played, what was her name? Uh, Joanne. The Helen something was what played the actress that played it. I never heard of her.
Real big role.
Yeah, she had a pretty big part. I mean, she was like what, uh, you know,
She
the
had to be out.
third. Yeah, her, she was like third in place of being in the movie between the two, Tom Berenger and Michael Pare. But if you notice, the sax player, he never spoke.
Nope.
He
Wendell
never
never
spoke
spoke.
in the whole movie. He just played the sax, and he was still touching. Because I started to cry when again after seeing it this many times when they found him dead in his apartment from an overdose, and that is a true fact about Hollywood and in the entertainment industry. So many people end up dying not from suicide but from
The
drug
drugs.
overdoses. You know, because they mix too much of the drug with alcohol, or another prescription medicine that they were taking for high blood pressure or whatever else. And most of them were tragic deaths, you know, like a few people died in the Viper Room. I can't remember all their names, but different people die because they just mix the wrong, even what was her name? Oh, I can't remember. Not Mae West. Marilyn Monroe. You know, she supposedly died of an accidental overdose too.
No,
Michael
just
Jackson,
having sex with JFK.
Prince. You know, uh,
CIA.
well, yeah, but I'm just saying, tons and tons of famous people that were just starting to get big have died, and to me, all of that was appeal for me to watch this movie, and I really, really liked it. So, to me, anyone who watches this movie that likes documentaries, that loves this type of music, um, you see some of the other aspects of it. Just the grittiness of it. You know what I mean? It was very gritty and raw. I loved the way that they dug at each other, like the one scene where where Eddie sees his friend. What was his name? Tom Berenger, Frank, kissing the woman he cares about, even though he has no commitment with her. Because just like she said, they never talked about the future because he didn't want to. Uh, that was his style. But see, he still felt he possessed her. And he got jealous when he saw them kissing. Sorry. But, and then he gave him a big dig. Now, he wasn't mean to her, but it was like his pissing contest, you know, like the two guys peeing on each other's shoes in the bathroom to prove their manhood or whatever. Don't step over my pee line or else. So that type of thing. So I just really liked it. I thought it was really, really good. And what was her name? Ellen Barkin, the one who played the reporter that
She's
starts
a
the whole thing.
great actress, and if
Yeah.
Bear was here, he would have like fallen asleep during the times she wasn't on screen.
Yeah, well, you can't have unless the whole movie only has one character and it's a play and they're just standing up there talking about stuff.
I get
You,
it. I
you
get
got
it.
to have other people in the movie. But
But
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very well done.
she
And
played her
for a
part.
while there, the first time I saw it, uh, I thought it was Tom Berenger's character that was trying to get the tapes. So I thought that was interesting. And I also thought it was either the reporters that were doing it or it was Tom Berenger trying to, get it because he was struggling, thinking that, maybe he could still have something happen in his life, even though because it was too obvious that it had to be the uh, the producer guy or maybe Solomato, whatever his name was,
Mhm.
the guy, the lounge singer in Vegas. I figured they were pushing those two characters too much that it couldn't be them, either one of them, to be the guy, but I was wrong because it was. So I just thought I thought it was very good. I really enjoyed it. And the place that was neat, I sent it to you in the private chat. It was called, hold on.
It's
The
got some secret facts about the Eddie and the Cruisers franchise.
Yeah, but the part about the building they went to where she hid the tapes because that's where he grew up thinking that you could take trash and make a palace out of it. Yeah, it was called the Palace
The Senior
Depression.
Palace, yeah, the Palace.
Yeah, it was a real place in Vineland, New Jersey. A
They were trying to
homeless
make it again.
drifter, yeah, a homeless drifter built it out of junk, sand, and clay, and then charged admission to visitors. Vandals destroyed the palace after his death, but the original ticket booth still stands. So I just thought that was really cool that you saw a lot of that in the movie itself. They used it as a part, one of the sets for the actual movie to have the characters interact in it because that's where they were from. They all were from New Jersey, just young kids that wanted to be in a band. They wanted to start a band, and I loved how they kidded each other, especially the one scene where you see Tom Berenger on the. You could tell him sitting in front of the piano and him trying to sing a song that he had just written with this, and that's how it works. A person comes up with lyrics, and then maybe one or two other people help with the writing of the actual music that goes with it. And I love that whole scene.
The collaboration was great.
Yeah, I thought the whole scene was really good about how the two guys sitting behind him were like laughing at him, saying, "Oh, he's lame. He can't play music. He can't sing, and he can't write." And then the lead singer goes over there and he says, "Try this," and he kind of gives it a little kick, a rock, in there, and spices it up a little with the way he was playing the piano, and then beats it, brings the beat up, the tempo up. And he starts to do it, and he starts doubting himself because they're teasing him and stuff. But he ends up doing it, and then the saxophone player stands up and starts putting his little sound in there, and then she stands up and she starts playing the tambourine, and the music just starts going. And I just loved it. I just loved the music. I have some of the songs off of that album on my playlist still. Depending on my mood or whatever. I don't listen to it too much for working out and everything, because it's just not the same beat that I normally use. But when I'm in the mood, I'll listen to it. Just like Blues Brothers, I sang along and danced to that whole that whole movie, and I've seen it many times too. But I just liked it. I really like. And it's not Grease, just like I said. It's nothing like Grease.
For its saving grace, it is definitely not like Grease. I would have just decided to take some, what do you call that? What Ambien? I would have popped Ambien before I watched fucking Grease.
Oh, well, I didn't do that to you, because it really had a good story, I felt. And it had a plot, and it had good actors in it.
I wanted to like it. It has Michael Pare. Michael Pare is one of my favorite actors from the 80s because he was on The Greatest American Hero. He was on a really crappy sci-fi movie called Moon 44, directed by Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff he's done that probably Nicolas Cage wouldn't admit to. But, he was also in one of my favorite movies, which of the 80s was really fun to watch. But nowadays, it's a point of fucking arguments on the conspiracy networks, which is the Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And I really enjoy Michael Pare's acting, but in this movie, he kind of is subdued, and they try to promote Tom Berenger, who is doing his best to play an introvert, which made it feel just kind of like they kind of fouled up some things. And it's not a bad movie. It's an interesting idea to show the movie from the songwriter's perspective, and you get to see all the faults in all the various castings and crew members of what's going on, because it does go into depth on everybody. And R.I.P. Wendell. That's all I can really say. I mean,
well, I didn't see it that bad for Tom Berenger. To me, it was very believable. You got a young man that works in a bar.
He's fucking scared shitless of what success could happen.
And these people come in, and more of them start walking in. And he's like, "What's going on?" Because he didn't know what was happening. And then they said, "Oh, we're gonna play in your bar," and he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he's listening, and he gets brought into an argument the band's having about one of the songs that one guy, is it the bass player, I guess, had written, and it was too fast. He was trying to make some changes. The lead singer, right? But I just thought that whole scene was really, really good, because it kind of gives you an idea of how he was immersed into it. It didn't say that he quit his job and just started hanging with the band. He just would write some stuff for him. And then when he's sitting there and he's singing along and they're laughing at him, and then they end up making it a good song. And then you get to hear it sang by him with the music, with the piano. And then all of a sudden you hear the saxophone, the tambourine, the drums, and everything start going into it. And then you get to hear him perform it at the college, right? So you get to see it evolve into the actual song, and it's great. I thought it was a really good song. So
I like
a lot of people don't get to do that. Do what?
I liked the design process for how they were making their music. If they would have had more of that in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have paid more attention to some of the other parts, because there are some parts of this movie that I just blanked on. I wanted to pay attention to it. And I'm not tired. I had plenty of sleep. I've not gotten my beers are unopened. My kisses don't take Cap's blue ribbon. Okay,
Well,
but I'm
we
just
have
saying.
it
Like
all.
I struggled having a hard time, because every time they get into the drama of what's going on with these tapes,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care,
But
and
see, I did.
I
I
wanted to.
saw it totally different than you. My vision of it was totally different.
I mean, this movie has a good soundtrack. It has good actors in it. The script should be. It just missed me. Like, all the pieces were less than the whole, and the whole was very, very minimal. And I wanted to like it, because this is one of Janet's movies. I don't want to upset her. I mean, well, fuck it, we'll just have an argument. But I just think this movie could have been a lot better, and I don't know exactly where it falls apart. I want to say the director. I want to say the director of this movie absolutely dropped the ball on numerous parts in the first and second acts. It made me not even pay attention to, like, there was a swath of like 12 minutes where I'm staring at the screen and I'm imagining myself somewhere else. But Martin Davidson still had to direct a fucking movie, and I'm here trying to enjoy it, and I'm like, I might as well be masturbating with sandpaper, because that's what I felt like I was doing the entire fucking last hour of the movie. I mean,
See, I didn't feel that
this
way.
guy's got a lot of stuff. He did the Lords of Flatbush, which everybody and their sister says, "Oh my God, you got to see it, you got to see it." Now I'm looking like, well, God damn it, I don't know if I want to watch this. If this is the quality of shit he cranks out. Like, I don't know. I,
I thought I thought the way that they added each of the different characters from the band later on, after the 18 years went by, after he went home, Tom Berenger's character went home and he saw that his apartment was ransacked,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
Okay, so then he knew that somebody had broke in and they were looking for something, but he didn't realize what it
yeah,
was,
it was.
because he wasn't a musician. He wasn't. His life didn't revolve about trying to become an overnight star, or continuing his career, because he never really looked at his character's part as a star. Okay, he was more of a person that was a poet, a writer, writing songs. That's what he wanted to do. But just like you said, his kinship with the lead singer was just like you said, with his fingers, you know, words and music. So once Eddie died, he just lost the want to write songs, because he wanted to write songs for Eddie. See what I mean? So that little flame just went out. Now you could tell he liked the girl, Joanne.
Yeah,
He could have had a future with her, but the
that scene is that there's one pivotal scene with her, and then there's like three other spots that I was noticing, the interpersonal situation and inner conflict with those two,
Mhm.
and it should have worked. It should have worked for Bruce, but man, it pissed me off.
Well, the thing is, it's okay. I mean, you can't like everything, and that's one reason why I think that we started wanting to do this, because we knew that we had different points of view when it came to movies. How boring would it be if I liked all the ram sack and blow stuff up and that kind of stuff. If that's all I ever wanted to watch, it'd be kind of boring. But I enjoy this
I'm,
movie.
I'm, I'm just gonna say that if I ever find a woman that says, Bruce, I get turned on by watching shitty
B-rate
Canon
movie.
films, Canon Films playlist. Give me your best Michael Dudikoff movie, and then afterwards use your salami. I'd have a hard time saying married. I would have. I don't know how exactly one could say
Well, I
married.
don't think you have to worry about that anytime soon, because I don't know a single woman that I've ever met, even tomboys, that would want to watch this, B-rate crap movies.
I mean, I mean,
We all like this kind of stuff too, and I liked it
it,
too, simply because it did have romance in it. Even though I'm a tomboy and that's not all I'm into, I did like the fact that there was a blossoming romance there that was quashed because she felt insecure, and I love that part of the movie. All of them had insecurities.
yeah,
All
that's something about this movie that's really strong. Is like the characterization.
Yeah, the
The
character
characters are really
arcs.
strong.
Yeah, the arcs of all the people involved and the different way that they came together, all because of one thing: music. They all wanted to sing and perform for different reasons, and that's what made it to me enjoyable. Is the fact that they were all in for something different. They all wanted something out of it. Like the one guy that wasn't even the singer, he was just there to help promote them and get their music out there. He wanted fame and fortune in the mogul side of it, the money making, the wheeling and dealing, finding the best deal and getting, going out and having dinners and doing all that stuff compared to what the band members wanted. And as we learned with Eddie, he wanted to make something that no one could turn away, something fantastic, something mind blowing. And that's what he wanted. And that's what he strived to do. That's why when he was singing some of the stuff that sounded like everyone else, the stuff that Salamato was writing, he just was bored with it. So when he heard the lyrics that Tom Berenger's character Frank wrote, it inspired him. He said, "Oh, this is someone I can connect with, and I could go somewhere with him. This person can write me the song, the music I want, the lyrics that I need for
Jen,
me."
I need to
Yeah.
interrupt.
Oh,
Our
go ahead.
friend, our friend of the channel, Fat
Oh,
Steve
Fat Steven.
he is gifted 5 memberships of Somehow I Have a Fan. I thank you very much, sir. You did not have to do that. Uh,
You.
the people that receive this are the Remake Station 5,
Mm-hmm.
the Mobius 8, Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review,
Cool.
friend of the channel, Mike Dimart, and Tina T. Thank you so much, Stephen. You didn't have to do that, but I truly appreciate it. And man, it's been a while. We need to hang out together. We need to play
Yeah,
something.
I was gonna say I haven't seen him in the chat in a while.
You want to know someone? If you ever go to Rumble, he is huge on Rumble. And when I say he's huge, I mean no. Like he's got a really good shtick on Rumble. People have completely followed him over there. He's got a following on Rumble, so it's worth like noting that you can go to a different platform and you can create a good following over there. He just was really damn great at it. So JFG Rumble Edition. Let me grab the link and I'm going to post this in our chat because I want people to follow him. He has good commentary during his games. He doesn't just always talk about the game or losing or winning, but this guy, he's really got a heck of a crew, and he's always a joy to watch. It's nice to see him, and I haven't watched this stuff about 2 weeks. I'm sorry, Steven. Okay,
Lots been going on.
yeah, everything's gone on, including the 60 hours of work last week. Anyway, um, yeah, the characters of this movie really are supremely different. They're not what I would expect. Uh, they're not what when you first see the trailer, you're not expecting the level of characterization to be as in depth and involved as what it is. It
Mhm.
just kind of feels like for me part of it was kind of almost a wasted effort because there's some parts of the script that just seems like it misses. And like the first act, it should grip you. It should fully just envelop your senses as to why are we watching this documentary about an artist that he careened his 57, car off of a bridge. And oddly enough, Bruce Springsteen had a lot of influence on this movie, which I didn't realize. But at the time, he was a kind of like a tech consultant along with Buster Brown's band. Uh, they also had Springsteen involved, and one of the things they did with the script was they tried to mirror at the time in '63 what Springsteen was driving or what he had available. Might have been '63 or '83, I can't remember. But he had a '57 just like what they show in this movie on the bridge. So that was kind of interesting that they had that. Now, I'm not the largest fan of Bruce Springsteen. I actually think he's probably one of the worst arena rock performers out there. But at least he tries. He used to do 4-hour concerts. So uh, there's a for effort. Stephen, you're welcome, sir. It's always good to see you, sir. And I wanted more. I wanted to be gripped by the initial story for it. I mean, you've got Ellen Barkin and Tom Berenger,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt no grip. I did not get carried along in the first act. And the second act, there's some spots that are really just, you can be folding laundry watching this show, and you go from towels to shirts, and you just, what? Oh shit! I better rewind it. I didn't even see what happened. And that's just the problem with this movie. It just doesn't hold your attention as much as it should, and it should hold your attention because Michael Pare can act. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
The supporting cast that's around him are great. Tom Berenger, I don't know, like this is. I think his character is the weakest part of the movie. Between him and the director, I did not like this because of the fact that I just wanted at least in the leading role, at least a sigma of a man that had his own ability to dictate where he was going. He just felt like he was like the Omega Wolf the whole time. There's not a shred of alpha in him. He didn't even seem like he was a good soloist, but he just seemed like he was this beaten puppy. And yeah, he's a good bartender. He's okay at his job, but there's some things with that character that are just so flawed. And I don't know how he would even be able to swoon Joanna, but I mean, girls get wet over the weirdest things, so whatever. But I mean, it's just one of those deals that I couldn't understand. Why was Tom Berenger the focal point? Why were we not focusing harder on him? Why was he such a beaten puppy? And if we could have at least figured that out, why, I would have been a lot happier. But he didn't have.
I didn't see him that way at all. I don't really understand. I'm trying to understand where you get all that stuff because I didn't see any of that.
I I'm trying to watch the film, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, am I seeing the
Because
same film?
it opens up with them singing, and then it zooms out, and you see it's on TV, and they're watching it on a screen
Yep.
of him performing one
Mhm.
of his hit songs, and then it ends up being Ellen Barkin and her two bosses at the media place, wherever it's some TV station or something. It looked like.
Yeah, it looked like it was East Coast.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying the room they were in. So you don't really know because it doesn't tell you exactly what until later on when she introduces herself to Tom Berenger's character, who they really are. But and then her boss says, "Well, what is it about this story that you're trying to get me to want to know?" And that's when she starts saying, "Well, what if he's still alive?" Which he was at the very end when you see his reflection in the TV. He did fake his death. That's why they never found his body. I love that ending because it did give you the sense that he just didn't. He just knew that the world wasn't ready for him yet. He wasn't. He just wasn't able to fulfill his dream of making something great because the world is not accepting of him, of his music. Yeah, it wasn't ready for him. So the fact that he got to watch his masterpiece basically getting to be unfolded in front of him, even though it was
Savaged.
18 years later. And I never saw the second movie, so I have no idea what happens in it.
The worst part about the second movie is that everybody I know that enjoyed the first, which is a handful, like out of the 20 or 30 friends I have that actually have seen this movie and talked about it, like when they talk about the second movie, they're like, it's kind of more of the same, but not as good. And
Oh,
if you want to follow the story, yeah, it does kind of give an idea of the story, but it's not finished because Michael Pare, he's got 78 pages of a script for the third movie that he hasn't finished yet. The guy's in his 70s trying to finish the story of Eddie and the Cruisers, which I have to admire that. I mean, I understand. I've got my own unwritten books, but
mhm.
he uh, he wants to do a third film, and it would be nice. I mean, that'd be a hell of a Cinderella tale. But I really just I wanted to give more of a care concern for this movie, and
So,
I
to
just
watch him up there on the screen and him performing, and then as they zoom out, you're live. You know, it's like you're in the moment now, seeing him sing and watching his neck muscles move and his mouth and him a little bit of perspiration and stuff like that. It was
yeah,
like he was really singing. He did a really phenomenal job at portraying, even though it was off sync a little bit because it was a little bit the moving of his mouth. It was a little bit off from the the singing
yeah.
because of the drag or the lag or whatever you call it. But I just thought it was really good. I thought his actions were great. I thought he did a really good job of portraying a one of what everyone thinks of a lead singer. Everybody thinks, oh, they're emotional, they're dramatic, they're in and out, they're up and down, blah blah blah. Now we never saw him do drugs, smoke pot. We saw him all smoking cigarettes and drinking beer, things like that.
I
But I
mean,
never saw
of that time period and with the demographic they are, that's kind of what I expect.
well, I'm just
I,
saying
I wouldn't expect him to
later
be.
on when we see that their saxophone player supposedly died of a heart attack, uh, and then that's when that one band member says, really, wake up, grow up, man. He told him, because he told him the truth about when he crawled through the window and he saw the spoon there that he is doing heroin or what, he died of a heroin overdose basically, and found him dead in the bathroom.
That
And
was the most realistic part of the film for me.
well, it was
That,
there was a few scenes like that for me, but it was a moving part, even though the character never spoke a word during the movie. Okay, he only played the saxophone, but he was very immersive, and his part was very powerful because it made the music powerful. Okay, so that's why to me I had an emotional connection with him. Do you know how hard it is to be in a movie a certain amount of time and die or whatever and have people emotionally connected to you when you never even speak? I mean, that he had good facial expressions, he had good body motion. His saxophone playing was freaking
his
awesome.
playing
Was
was
it really like
excellent.
him?
He's a real saxophonist in real
Yeah.
life. I mean,
So he was a very good character, even though he never spoke a word in the movie. And he was and when Michael Pare gets up there in that other bar where they're supposed to perform, and he says, "My friend just died, and I'm supposed to get up here and entertain you, and I don't think I can do it." And he gets off and he leaves, and then the band just stand there, like, what are we supposed to do? And it kind of was sad because you could see the characters standing up there were all sad too, except for one person that I felt had no feelings about the other people really, and that was Saul. All he cared about was wanting to be famous. It's all his whole drive was nothing but
he wanted
wanting to be
to
a famous singer. That
yeah.
even though someone that they spent all those years with building a band, he dies and he's not even emotionally messed up. And I
Well,
thought that was kind of low because even when she got up to sing, you could tell in her voice that she was broken, but she knew that she had to perform because she was left hanging the bag. And she did that a lot for the lead singer. She took the bag and the reins and went in a car with him and went places with him and did things with him and sat with him. She supported him all the time with no support. You see what I mean? She was always there for him, even though he wasn't there for her emotionally. She supported him. She helped him with his up and downs. And I know that was hard on her because even though she hadn't seen him in 18 years, and all of a sudden she thinks he's in the parking lot or out front, honking the horn and calling her and stuff, playing with her mind, she still loved him. after all those years, even though he was really, it's almost like she had battered wife syndrome or something, you know? And so many women do that because so many women are empaths and the men that they're with are narcissists and just use them for their supply and just snap their fingers and expect them to perform, take them off the shelf, use them for a few hours and put it back on the shelf. And you better be there when I come back. That's basically the way that so many of these women are in these movies. And men, I guess, a whole eras of men think women that those are the only good women. The women that don't have a personality, that don't really do anything, they're just available whenever they are. Oh, well, that's a woman that loves me. She's not a slut, she's not a whore, because she's not out having fun like I want to have fun with these women at the bars. They sing and dance and they give good head or whatever, but I don't want her out there. I'm going to keep her at home where I can take her off the shelf when I need her. And that's how I felt about her. I felt she was a doormat basically for Michael Pare's character, because that's what he was, like a spoiled brat. But so many performers are like that. And I think that the reason she was attracted to Tom Berenger's character was the fact that he didn't treat her that way. He wrote beautiful words to songs, and he was sensitive and quiet, total opposite of the guy that she had that was stormy and always up and down like a hurricane. And you know some women mature over a certain amount of time and step away from men like that. The narcissist one that demands you perform whenever and not give back the emotional needs that they have, that the women, and then they finally realize, hey, I'd rather have a man that treats me good and that listens to me and is there for me than some guy that's always going off the handle and leaving me crying the next day. I'm just sad and broken, and I wish more women could see that before it's too late. Yeah, because I've seen it so many times. There's so many women, women that are with alcoholics or women that are with um, beaters, wife beaters, or husbands that are never there because they're always at work having affairs or whatever else, and they just keep the house. And those women just put up with it because they're empaths, right? Basically, and it's really sad to see that because I'm not like that. I'm not going to just sit and wait for you to come back. If you don't come back or treat me as your equal and want to be my best friend and do things with me and enjoy me as your company, why would I want to waste my time with you? You know what I mean?
Right.
I think all men should feel the same way because I know there's women out there that look for empathic men. The man that's going to just always be available whenever she's ready for attention. And that's sad. It's sad that it should be the opposite. Why don't the two that always expect everything from each other end up together and the two empaths be together? It's just funny how that never works. But I felt sorry for her character throughout this thing because she was very quiet and calm and demure, and she tried to be very available for him and help him, and she felt she was in love with him. See, because she was willing to just drop everything and get in a car and go with him, even though it wasn't him, because he was using her emotions for someone that was dead or gone or not there anymore, uh, to get the music so he could start his career, restart it or whatever, thinking
I
it would make him famous.
see the part of the movie that I'm having the biggest issue with
Hmm.
is the hero of the film being Michael Pare.
Hmm.
Michael Pare is not a lead singer that I'm familiar with because I've known about maybe 12 or 15 different bands. I grew up a block away from the lead singer of Mudvayne in Latham, Illinois. That's Chad Gray. Uh,
Hmm.
I knew the guitarist and some of the guys for Jars of Clay because I went to school with Steve Mason. Had some other good friends. The guys from V-Shaped Mind, of course, they got shafted by, I believe it was Universal Music that just fucked them out of career. They fell through the cracks, literally. No support, no tour, no T-shirts, etc., and
Hmm.
completely in debt. Anyway, a lot of bands have a lead singer that there's a joke that applies. And here's the joke. How many lead singers does it really take to screw in a light bulb? Do you know, Janet?
No.
None. They fucking stand there with a light bulb in the socket and the world revolves around them.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I mean,
That makes
Michael
sense.
Pare was a completely unconventional lead singer for like the type of band that they were playing with, and various bands usually have the same type of dynamics. Usually, your bassist is your support guy, real empathic. Usually, the drummer is one of the literal driving forces in the background, kind of like what Lars is with
Yeah.
Metallica and other bands like that. It's
Hmm.
just the musical instrument they use is usually very indicative of their personality. And I know that sounds very stereotypical, but I live in a world where stereotypes are a thing and they work. By the way, Cotton Ministry is like, damn, Janet, tell us how you really feel. So,
Well, I'm just trying to go in depth on what I felt about the characters
yeah,
as best I can, and from what emotions like I said, I got teared up again. And I've seen this movie over 10 times when they found him dead in the bathroom. The drummer found him dead in the bathroom, and it's sad. It's heartbreaking that anyone would lose their life alone. You're spinning. Here you are in a band that's right now got number one songs in the top 10, right? In the top 100 or whatever, and you're up and coming to be famous, and here you go, a guy doing drugs by himself in the bathroom. It's sad and heartbreaking to me.
it is
Yeah.
heartbreaking, but it happens a hell of a lot more than what you're willing to
I
admit.
know, and that's what's sad about it. It's real life. It happens every day, not just to musical stars or actors, to everyday people. They
Okay.
would rather sit and drink by themselves or smoke and do drugs by themselves alone instead of go out and meet real people and have a real relationships with people. Go bowling, go to the movies, go fishing, go hiking, go camping. There's so many things, wonderful things in life other than drugs and alcohol or sex addiction or food addiction or whatever it is. uh, Real people should be together. You know, that's what
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I just feel sorry for these
I,
people.
I don't feel sorry for them.
I
Everybody's got there's not for everyone, but I would say a good probably half to a third of humanity has a situation where they've got an addictive personality. There's something out there that they should stay well away from, and they shouldn't get involved with it because it'll take over their life. Some people it's video games, some people it's sex, some people it's fucking nicotine and alcohol or fucking dopamine. Dopamine's the worst
well,
thing you can
nicotine. Okay, I don't smoke anymore. I used to smoke, but nicotine, smoking a cigarette while you're driving down the road, is it going to cause you to fall asleep at the wheel? It's not going to cause you to get road rage and ram somebody. Things. So to
no,
me,
but it's a long term killer.
well, yeah, it over time you can end up. We know from science that it's going to kill you. But what I'm talking about is the actual things that can hurt other people. And
Okay.
the sad truth of it is the fact that people do it alone. They say they want to be famous and they want a lot of these things. They want real love and all this stuff, but they spend most of their time alone hurting themselves when they could be out with somebody and together instead of hurting themselves. They could be with somebody, even if it's just sitting in a library or at a restaurant or a coffee shop. uh, you know to me it's just sad because we got so many people out there that say they want something, but people aren't willing to go out and try to find it or try something new.
Is dangerous. Going out beyond your comfort zone is dangerous. Okay.
Mhm. It's
A lot
scary.
of people are scared of that. That's the dark room that they're not certain if the light switch works.
Yeah,
They
but it's scary here too. Look at me. I shared that message that I got posted on my channel on Mother's Day.
hmm
I get stuff like that at least once a month. I get, or and sometimes worse, saying they want to cut my throat and whatever. And I'm a nobody. I don't even. I'm not even monetized. I'm just a teeny tiny speck, blip on the radar. Yet somebody, for some reason, something I said ticked them off, so they want to see me dead. But that's what's sad. There's people like that out there in the world that want to take their problems out on other people because they're miserable being by themselves. So they want to take someone down with them. And basically, this story is kind of like that. You have a guy that's spiraling out of control, and you have all these people fighting amongst each other and fighting with their own demons that he just slips through the cracks. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
that opens up a whole
I think
the truth. It's scary because it's realistic. That's why I said that's why I looked at it as a documentary, basically, because the whole story basically is what happens, I'm sure, in many bands that are trying to.
I'm going to disagree with you on that because to me, Eddie and Sal are flopped. Uh, Eddie should be like a keyboardist with his personality. He's not really quote unquote a strong leader. He's a good guy. He's more of a literally like a heroic type. But
Mhm.
you got Sal that he's a narcissist asshole. In most bands I know, the narcissist asshole is a fucking front man.
Mhm.
Why the fuck did this movie get made with those two in those roles? Eddie should have had Sal's personality. Sal should have had Eddie's personality. That's one of the biggest part of the movies that made me go, man, this is dumb. And
But
I
see, with that
fucking
scene where they argue, and he says, "You're wrong, man. You're wrong."
Mhm.
Okay, so they did butt heads. You just didn't see as much of it. And he says, known each other longer than anyone else in this band. So both the guys that could sing had butted heads over different parts. And I'm sure if we got to see more of them instead of just what we saw in the documentary way of it, that you would have seen. Eddie stepped back while Sal sang one of the songs. You see what I mean? Just
Yeah,
like the Cars did, and the other bands, like the Eagles, they had more than one singer that could sing, and they stepped back and forth and back and forth. That's why a lot of them left and did their own version by
yeah.
themselves.
This is a movie that's kind of in a microcosm. It's shown off within you have the 1983 timeline, and you've got like a few months from 63 where they try to piece things together through the eyes
Well,
of the
it's
script or
yeah,
the
through
songwriter.
Tom Berenger's character, when like he's sitting at the desk after the kids left for the day because he's a teacher now, and he's got his feet up, and he starts thinking about, uh, something that somebody said that triggered him. He starts having a thought back when he was writing songs for their band when they were first starting, and then also when he's on the radio listening, and the song comes on, and then it triggers another memory type of thing. And I like that. I like that it was bringing us back and forth to see how these characters from when they first met each other to now, later on in the movie when they're trying to solve whether or not Eddie did die and what happened to the tapes and why someone would take them. But as it unfolded, you're realizing it made perfect sense that she would go and get them. You know what I mean? Because of who she was and how she loved him, that type of stuff. So I liked how they slowly unfolded or opened the pages up so you could
I'm
see
not
on the
really
other side of
upset
each
with
character.
the of reveal of information. I have a real issue with just some of the characters. Like some of the characters are written really well.
Mhm.
Sal, Eddie, different personalities. And I guess maybe I'm seeing things from a completely different standpoint, and that's okay. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I watched a band unravel after being promised the world from Universal because I worked with two of their wives, and I mean, we all heard it. We were in the break rooms day in and day out through the summer of 2006 and 2005. You
Yeah.
heard everything go on about this band and how Universal had failed to properly get them out there. They toured with Powerman 5000. They went out with Mudvayne, and then like the money just dried up. They fell literally through the cracks. Their album wasn't really well received, which is understandable because I thought it was a kind of a midline at best debut album. I mean, they kind of deserved to not be heard anymore because their performance sucked. There was like 4 songs on the CD out of 12 songs that you could listen to again, and it was really bad. It's just kind of indicative of the music industry. You go buy a record or a DVD or a cassette, and there's only like 4 songs out of 10 or 12 that you really like. This is that fucking example that I use, and I'm kind of thankful that they fell through the cracks,
Mm-hmm.
looking in hindsight, because
Yeah.
members of the band went and did other things. The lead singer's still in music. He's still trying to make music. I admire him for his persistence. It's just like me and my YouTube channel, which I have had for, what, 16 years, and we're just now hitting 1,280 subscribers. That's good. For me, that's great. And I want to also say thank you to Keto Simple for US $5. He says, I've never watched this movie. I need to go back and check it out. I think you should, because there's some parts of the film that are really well done, and there's other parts of the movie that will bore you to tears.
I don't.
It's not a bore movie. It's not a great movie though. This is a movie that's really a good product of its time in '83, because you have some actors in it that are starting their careers and they're getting ready to ramp or getting ready to disappear. Michael
Mhm.
Pare, he kind of flounders a bit. He treads water, but nobody and their sister watches him after like 1988, which is kind of sad. She's not a bad actor. Then you got Ellen Barkin. She's quite the looker. She's in what was that? Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah,
And
she's also the one in that movie I said I wanted to put on the list, where she's a man and she's God is a womanizing man, and then God, and something happens. They have a near death experience, and God brings her back as a woman so that she could live as a woman to see if she could, to teach her a lesson, basically him a lesson on how he treats women, and has to basically live as a woman to as a punishment type of thing. It's really funny, and I can't remember the name of it, but I want to put that on the list. And that stars Ellen Barkin.
okay,
It's
with
a funny.
Graphic Gamer coming in clutch with the link for those of you wanting to know more about Keto Simple. Uh,
Hey, Captain Gamer.
Thank you, Crafting, for that. And thank you again, Keto Simple, for the US 5. We will make sure that goes to the upkeep of the channel. Um, and I guess maybe this movie is kind of one of those things where it illustrates where some people are really driven to do things. Sal, in my opinion, doesn't deserve to succeed because he doesn't, like every time he started to sing, I tuned out and I didn't like his singing. I know that there's different strokes for different folks. I get that. Not into it.
But
And
you see that that's one of the things that I liked about his character, and I thought he did a great job at doing it, is the fact both him and Eddie were both singers, and they both sang songs and wrote songs for the band when they were first starting out. The difference was Eddie wanted to evolve. He wanted to write something just wonderful, fantastic. That was his goal, his drive that made him want to be iconic. Okay. And that he wanted to have the right music, uh, the lyrics to grip people and make them want to remember it. See, he said he wanted to tell a story. He wanted to envelop people through their mind, through their hearts, basically. Now, Saul didn't feel that way. His whole thing was he just wanted to keep singing the same old stuff, okay, because it was fast and easy and he remembered it all. That's all he seemed to care about, was just performing. It wasn't so much a soul journey for him. It was just performing in front of people. Two totally different reasons to be a singer in a band. So you had two different people that evolved. And look, years later, 18 years later, he's still singing exactly the same songs. He never went on and wrote more songs. See, he lived off the past, and that's what Eddie and him butted heads about. Was that he said, I want the words to mean something. Remember when they had that one argument? And that's what I thought was so good. It showed you the difference between the two men that could sing and where the band's direction might go. And Tom Berenger's character connected with him, with the lead singer Eddie, because he said words and music. And he said, without one, you don't have the other, right? So basically, he stopped writing after Eddie died. So he had to find another way to, what was he going to do? And he was lucky because remember, he did go to an Ivy school. So he became a teacher himself. And so he was able to make a living, but it wasn't fulfilling. Just like he said, when he went back and he started getting back involved because of the the one reporter bringing up the fact of what happened to Eddie. Did he really die, or did he fake his death? I mean, like, you see that a lot, and people are always coming up with these conspiracy theories that, oh, they faked their death, or now we have a clone running around, all this different stuff. You got all these crazy, ridiculous things that are coming out, but we really don't know the truth unless you're in it or you're involved in it. You really don't know the facts about whether or not they really died unless you saw them dead. You basically wouldn't know for factual 100% whether they were really alive or not. And that's why I really loved the very, very ending. I thought it was great. Even though I went back and looked at, what was it, Siskel or Ebert or whatever, they hated the ending. They absolutely thought it was so stupid. But I like the fact that you see his reflection in the TV, and that his songs are finally going to be out there for people. That's all he wanted. That's why he got so upset when they said, "Oh, this is bullshit. This isn't, what kind of crap is that?" Because they basically,
they didn't get it. They didn't understand the music.
They didn't understand where he was coming from. And that's what's so great about today, or even then, because people that were willing to take a risk. I mean, look at Ozzy. Okay. Nobody wanted Ozzy either, but his wife's dad, was a big mogul in the music industry. She decided to get in there and promote Ozzy, and man, look what happened. See, somebody wanted
his really music. Weird, because of all the styles that a person could go and sing for heavy metal, to do a gospel style approach to singing heavy metal, that is crazy. I really
got so many talented people out there in so many different genres of music. You just don't know until you hear it. I mean, I'll be just, listening to whatever, some music, and somebody will send me, because on my Discord, I have a music room that people can post music. And I have gotten so many freaking good songs put in there from so many different people that posted stuff, and I'd never heard of them. I mean, absolutely never heard of them. And I'll listen to it, and I'm like, wow, I really like this. And I never would have ever heard it in my lifetime if I hadn't had that person post it. And that's what's so great, and why I love music and movies and books and all kinds of things, is because you don't know you hate it if you never listen to it. You don't even know if you like it.
Have you read the book to this?
To this movie?
Yep. There's a book it was based on.
I didn't even know there was a book.
Oh, yes, indeed. And apparently on IMDb, there's a few reviews for this movie from the people who saw it. The book people are book people. Book people, God bless you. I love you people. But every time that there's a book that a movie gets based on, what do we hear? Your book is better. Well, the thing is that they're claiming, the one unifying thing I'm seeing with this on both Amazon and IMDb is that Eddie and the Cruisers movie completely goes out of its way to kind of ignore the influence of the music of the 50s had on the early 60s. Mm-hmm. It kind of says, here's a guy in the 60s, and one minute they're doing doo-wop, and now he's trying to do prog rock. And they don't really focus on the environment he's in. They don't focus on it at all in the movie. Mm-hmm. That's one of the big sins of this film. This movie is supposed to be a period piece, but if it's supposed to be a period piece, I should feel like there should be a feeling of immersion in the fucking period they're trying to bring you back to. And I
felt like I was immersed in it. So that's why
I never caught that.
I guess I just looked at it totally different. Maybe it was because the first time I saw it, just like I said, I was sitting at my parents' house. My mom wanted us to watch it. I was playing dominoes. I wasn't really paying attention because there was like 7 or 8 different family members there all visiting, right? And we're all doing different things. That's what happens. People play games, people are cooking, people are watching television, some people are listening to music out front. There's always something going on. When you have 5 daughters, I mean, you're going to have a lot of shit going down, right? But I remember playing dominoes, and I'm hearing the music, and my mom says, "Tom," okay, and they stand up and they start dancing, doing that little twist kind of thing where they're holding hands. I don't know the name of the dance or whatever, and they're laughing and having a good time. But they'd had a few, drinks. So I went, I'm going to stop playing. I went over there and started watching the movie with them and laughing at my parents and seeing how much they enjoyed it. So maybe my experience of the first time getting to watch it was different because I was already pulled into it simply because of the way my parents were acting to the soundtrack of the movie. So I don't know, maybe that made a difference for me, but I saw it totally different. I saw it as a documentary and I wanted to know more about what happened and why this person or whoever it was trying to get these tapes, and who was it, and why would they toy with her that way? Why would they be that evil to do more psychological damage to someone that I felt was already damaged? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just looked at the movie totally different than how you saw it, apparently. And I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's why everyone, if you haven't seen it, at least give it a try. See it. You may hate it. You may not like it at all,
You
but
might
maybe
really enjoy this movie, or you might be sitting
I
with me.
can use it. So I don't know.
You might be sitting with me over in the fucking well, there goes an hour and a half, and that might be your takeaway from it. I hope that it's not, but I mean, I just thought this movie had so much more to offer. I'm checking out this director that made it, and I'm not really feeling his.
What
his
other
work.
things did they make?
Okay, this guy's name is Martin Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
He's known for the Lords of Flatbush.
Okay, that was good.
TV movie from 1987 called Long Gone. 2000 movie called Looking for an Echo. And those are the three of the four on IMDb. The other one is Flatbush Avenue J, which that was a TV special from 1976. As of late, he's done a lot of television directing. And when I say as of late, I want to say since probably 89. TV series, TV movie. He did the Heart of Dixie movie, Law and Order, My Life in Times, Murder's Affair, Late Show TV series, Picket Fences TV series, Follow the River TV movie, Chicago Hope TV series. And the guy, he kind of stopped doing things in 2000, which I'm honestly surprised that he stopped because he seemed like he was kind of prolific. But
can I read something really quick about him?
Yeah.
Okay, it says here, he says, Martin Davidson said that the inspiration for the film came from a desire to get all of his feelings about the music of the last 30 years of rock music into it. He opted P.F. Klung's novel with his own money and great financial risk. He wrote the screenplay with Arlene Davidson, I guess that's his wife, and decided to use a Citizen Kane style story structure. He remembered. He said that that was in his head.
I'm out. I'm done. I'm done. Listen, the moment you're like, I want to use a Citizen Kane like story structure and hope that you film nerds get it. You overtly fucking.
I got it.
Dick. I'm done.
It worked on me. And I'm sure it had to work on others because when people saw it on HBO, it became the movie became a
cult hit,
more popular.
Yeah, it immediately became a cult hit among its fans. And the thing is that for me, this movie did nothing. I'm happy you enjoyed it. On IMDb, it currently holds a 6.9 out of 10, far higher than what I'm going to rate it. But that's fine. I'm okay with that. I didn't appreciate it. I'm not saying I want to fucking literally.
It's not the worst movie you've ever seen. That's what
no, it's no G.I. Jane. I'll say that. G.I. Jane holds.
I love G.I. Jane.
25 out of 100 for me because of the social science fiction that bullshit was. fuck G.I. Jane. Anyway, no, this movie could be a lot better, and I think there's a lot of aspects of it that just maybe it was trying to be too subtle. I'm going to be a film nerd whenever I direct this movie. Bullshit, and the director just seems like he should be Sal. I mean, just from what you read there, I wanted to see Lords of Flatbush. It's got Sylvester Stallone. How could it suck, right? And yet, no. Never mind. Take that off my list. And I do. So, I'm good. This movie hits a fucking solid 50 out of 100 for me because there's some parts of it that it is really well done. There's really like the set design, the director of photography was good. The movie's shot pretty okay. The beginning of it feels very much like a documentary, like you're just sitting there in the fly on the wall at a park, and others are just talking about everything. But as the movie progresses, it gets a little bit more interactive, the camera and the actors. But at the same time, there's parts of the film that are completely disposable.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to like this movie because everybody that I know that's seen it has either one of two opinions of it. It's either bloated and bullshit, which is the majority opinion of my friends. And there's the friends of mine that are music nerds. They're people that they like things like Triumph, and they want to shove you this like super secret Rush tape, and like Rush recorded this right before they did 2112. Here, listen to this. These are badass songs, and you're like, I see why these got cut. And that's my fucking opinion, you know. I mean, like, there's
but that's what's good. You should have your opinion.
and
But
this movie just
the thing is that we all should voice our opinion so that other people will know whether they liked it or not. I didn't go see the Captain Marvel movie, not just based on what other people said, but when I saw the trailer and certain things, and I said, hell no, I ain't gonna watch this movie.
I'll tell you why I didn't go see Captain Marvel. It wasn't even the fact they were making fun of people like me who have toys and figurines, okay? Mm-hmm. Or they still play D&D at the age of 49, 50, whatever. I don't care about you. You want to make fun of that's automatically, it's like just calling me a racist. Go fuck yourself. I'll never worry about your opinion again. But where you lost me at, Captain Marvel was made about Carol Danvers. After we had Monica Rambeau in like what 82 to 86, one of the stronger Marvel lines for female-led comics, and you could have had a really good 3 movies with Monica Rambeau just doing Monica Rambeau stuff and wrapping up their daddy telling her that you're doing good. I need to tell you that I love you for what you're doing, and I struggled being a single dad, but watching you grow up and watching you make these decisions, I did the right thing, and I was a good dad because obviously you've got a good head on your shoulders, and I approve of every decision you made. You are going to doubt yourself. You're going to have problems with your decisions. You're going to wonder if you're doing the right thing, and that's how you know you're doing it right. And that's one of the few times that I remember that a single parent, minority of all things, was in a comic book talking to their child and saying all these things. And if only more kids from those broken homes heard that or read that and felt like that sort of possibility could be within this millennium, that they would have that same affirmation given to them, maybe our world wouldn't have so many fucking paperwork pieces walking around going to county or fucking state offices after a judge says you're guilty. You know, maybe just, but instead we get some bullshit like shit tier Carol Danvers to replace fucking Monica Rambeau. Go fuck yourself. No wonder you've lost 60% of your audience that watched in-game is not going to go see fucking Thunderbolts. Suck my dick. You know, I'm not sorry about that. I'm not sorry at all.
The good thing is that we still have a choice. Okay, we're not being told we have to. We're not being forced to have to go watch this movie.
Janet, are you saying that this is Arstotzka? We're going to from now on mandate what movies you see.
You know, you never know. What if that's all there was? I mean, what if we get into the realm where that kind of stuff is all there is available? There is nothing else, and anything else has to be bootlegged, basically. See what I mean? Yeah. So you either risk getting arrested watching bootleg stuff, okay, or you watch the crap that they think that you deserve to have because you need to know what we want you to know. See what I mean? So, you know, that's what I'm saying. At least you can say, fuck you, I don't want to watch this shit, and turn off the channel or go to another channel or go to another streaming service and watch what they have to offer. So the good thing is we do still have a choice. You can either, but the only thing we have is our own point of view, you know, what we want to see, what we like in music, what we like in art, what we like in food, and stuff like that. I mean, look what happened in the last 4 years telling you who you're supposed to date. If you don't want to date this person pretending to be the opposite sex, whether it's a man or a woman, then you're the bad person, not the person that's trying to force it on you. See what I mean? So I'm telling you, we're lucky. We're still lucky to live in America and actually be able to say, hell no, I ain't watching that crap. Or yeah, this was really good. Or to download a song from your music repertoire, whatever, that you never heard simply because someone else said, hey, try this out. It's pretty cool. And you listen to it and you go, damn, that's great. So we still are lucky to live in a land where we do have that opportunity, because a lot of countries, you can't even voice your opinion without risking the cops coming to your door. So what I'm saying is use your freedoms to enjoy whatever it is that you enjoy, and share it. Tell other people about it, how good it was or how terrible it was, and see what happens. Because word of mouth really can make a difference on whether something is successful or it isn't. You know what I mean? As Bud Light found out, right? So the same thing is with movies. I mean, like this one, I really enjoyed it. And it might be because of the way I saw it, who was around me when I saw it. I don't know. But I got you to watch Lars and the Real Girl. And I love it. I still love it. It's still one of my favorite movies.
I don't like the movie as much as I like the conversations and arguments that happen because of that movie.
Well, the thing is, it's good to have conversations. What is this? Oh, the Thunderbolt thing?
Nope.
Oh.
This is the game. Once you get your Steam account and buy this
Papers, please.
Papers, please.
Oh my God. I've never seen this. I don't know what it is.
This is a game where you play INS you play as the immigration specialist for a Eastern European country.
Is that a Sega game? I mean, is that a real game or pretend?
It's a PC game.
Oh, for PC, okay.
Yeah, it's a true PC game. It's an amazing PC game. You'll have to get a download for steampowered.com.
I know. I'll have to do that. I wrote it down. I need to do it. See, I even have my own gaming. This is a gaming computer that I have. You're the one that helped me pick it out.
It had a really good core for everything. The only thing I want to do with it at some point is we need to get you monetized, and we'll have to get you a new video card, because by this time next year they're going to be forcing everybody to have a 2070 minimum, and I think yours is a 3060, which is higher in number but poorer performing. I'm not certain about that.
Well, I'm not going to ever play any game where I got to blow up shit and do all that. I like Lego Batman, and I like Goat Simulator and stuff like that.
Oh my God, I can't wait to get Janet on Doom 2016. We're going to see her eat fucking raw steak one of these days.
Yeah, I love raw meat. No, I'm just kidding. I like steak though.
I like steak tartare. I love it.
Yeah, I love rare steak.
Bellum steps in. And earlier we had a I don't know if Keto Simple is still in here, but Flady made a very, very nice thing. He said, I switched to pork rinds as breading for my chicken fingers due to your channel, Keto. It's a total...
Yeah, because I can't eat bread. If it's got wheat in it, I can't eat it.
Janet, how many times have you been with me and I've talked about Keto Simple's channel?
All the time.
Okay. There's a fucking recipe he's got for chicken fingers that use pork rinds as breading. You can go back to the things you love. There are workarounds. It's amazing. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Yeah, I've gone to their channel a few times and watched a couple of their lives.
I missed his Sunday stream today, so I went back and watched like an hour and a half of it while I was watching or getting ready for this here, doing some research on this movie. I really want to like this movie. I do, but this movie falls apart for me, and I'm not really certain I'm gonna try to give it a second chance again. I'm pretty certain I won't. It's completely shot of shot, and the sequel, the sequel has no appeal for me whatsoever.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the second one, so I have no idea. I've never seen it because the ending was fine for me. Just like I said, when I saw his reflection in the window, and he's seeing people clamoring to see the story about him, and the fact that his music was coming out again. The what he was fighting to get put out back when he was just starting out, his second album, and they said, "Hell no, we ain't playing this crap. It's bullshit," or whatever. They didn't like it, so he went off on a tangent when he should have just took the music and went somewhere else, but he didn't. He was spoiled, thinking he was going to get what he wanted, but other people don't see it everything the same way we see it. You have to shop around just like anyone would, but he had a short temper and a short bridge. So he ended up in the ocean. But yeah, I just thought it was really good. I love the ending too. So
Hey, Bo. Thank you for the like for both of us, man. Lady says the Keto channel seems like really nice people with recipes.
yeah, they are. They're
really
great.
They're absolute sweethearts.
And they're fun to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
They're animated.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And like they really dig their newfound lifestyle. I think I want to share some with you because Lady said Carpaccio, and I'm like, I think I remember this. And sure enough, it's a beef that's pounded flat. You add a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of greens to it, and that's one of the dishes that you can get. Just to show you what Carpaccio is, and it looks like it's pepperoni or salami.
Raw? Is it raw meat or cooked?
It's raw.
Okay, well, my daughter has hurt me so bad. She brought home a little bag of pepperoni ready to eat, to put on stuff. And I took a couple out and I put them on my salad, and I was like, dang, these are good. So sometimes at night, I'll just go in the kitchen and I'll get a little bowl and I'll put pepperoni, some cheese, and some like grapes or blackberries or something, and I'll lay in bed while I'm on my iPad or whatever and just eat it. I just love them. I just love meat. I love meat, all kinds of meat. So I'm a meat eater.
Have you ever had tartare?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Japanese restaurants too. So I just don't eat that much. I hardly eat any rice because it depends on what they're cooking it in and stuff. It has to be white rice basically. So, which sucks. But yeah, I think it was a good movie. If you like good music and any of the actors that are in this movie, which I thought were great. They're younger, way younger. I was really surprised the difference of what they look like now when I went to their IMDb page.
Oh, Janet.
And I saw them.
We're getting to the point where we shouldn't really go to the IMDb page and look at the cast.
I know, it's heartbreaking because I was shocked to see Michael Pare, what he looked like now. But the thing is, I still think he's attractive. I'm not saying they're ugly. It's just that you just don't realize how quickly you age. I mean, it just seems like, wow, one day you're just like, what was it? Somebody said it yesterday. Was it yesterday during the game that you fall asleep? And I don't know when it was. Somebody said you fall asleep with someone. Oh, I think it was in a space I was in. And they were saying you're with somebody for 30 years or whatever, and you fall in love. And then one day you wake up and you're like, who in the fuck is this old person next to me in bed? So I was like, it doesn't happen like that. But they said that they're worried about that.
So this is the conversation you're recalling, okay? And this is the average Asian aging process. At 18, she's pretty and she's perky. From 20 to 30, she doesn't really change. And 30 to 50, she puts her hair up and maybe turns into a mommy or grandma. Bam! Menopause!
Jeez. It's terrible. I age 120. Yeah. I really had a grandmother that was 101 when she passed away on my dad's side of the family. And she was sweeping her kitchen that morning. And that's what I want. I just want to be able to take care of myself until the day I die. I don't want other people to take care of me. And I don't want to spend months or years, in bed, having other people care for me. I hope that never happens to me.
I hope it never happens to you either.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll be in the same nursing home.
That'd be great.
there's a lot to like about this film. I wanted to be more optimistic about it.
But I do agree with you about the director, because the editing, I didn't see anything wrong with the editing. I thought that the way the music was in the movie, the way it was put together from one scene to another, little things like that, I couldn't find flaws in that. So you're right. The only flaws in this movie, and yeah, now that I think about it, because you mentioned it about the one character that kind of like isn't the best of the best. It wasn't because it was his first movie. I don't know, but yeah, Tom Berenger really did seem uh, young. Like not
It's almost a coming of age film for Tom Berenger
yeah.
back in '63. His '83 presence is more assured, but he really hasn't came out of his shell yet. In fact, he retreated to a job where he could be successful just by being in the background and not by being in everybody's face. And that's like the one thing I did like the character development he had. It's just the fact that I didn't like the fact that they tried making him the main character, because he's not a bad guy. He's really a good guy, but he's not got the moxie to step up for himself, and therefore it feels very disjointed from a storytelling perspective to have him be so in the thrusted spotlight. And I really have a problem with that. I wanted to, the more I thought about it, the more I discussed this, I really wish they had made Sal the main character, because even though he's a complete and total douchebag, you would get a complete and total douchebag from the perspective of we were going strong. And you would have this like reflection of a gambler that, he had just finished blowing somebody for a sandwich because he went with his last $5 to fucking Harris or the dunes or something. He'd gone out fully and completely trying to win, swinging for the fences, and he fumbled the ball. And I much rather would have had that than mousy little character that later turns on into an investigator of some sort. It doesn't matter if he's cop or PI. It seemed so unnatural, and maybe it's for the benefit that we have this as a documentary, because the director wants to be special, and little Timmy has got a star on his fucking.
Well, in a way, though, I'm thinking that maybe he was trying to portray a character from Ivy League school hanging with rebels. You see what I mean? So he was the clean cut, nice guy. Like the one scene when Michael Pare says, he goes, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go change. He goes, no, I want you to wear what you have on. Because he looked like a college student, and he preppy. He looked preppy compared to them. So in a way, it was Michael Pierre's character, Eddie, was looking at him as a punishment to force him up there to look the way he is and how he sees him.
And for that reason, I would have much rather had the focus be on Sal and have it be told from Sal's perspective a lot more than the little mousy character, like I stated, because Sal would give you not only the directive, but he'd give you the reason as to why he's in charge.
Yeah.
And therefore, you would have a better frame of reference as to what the fuck is happening with this. Why are we obsessing about this? And then whenever we finally get to the point where, well, who had the tape? Who had the secret recording sessions? We would actually have a final resolution for the fucking character arcs in this movie.
Yeah, see, that was one of the things that really bothered me about this movie. The more I've been thinking about it, that was the one thing I was like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. So you got this reporter going to see all of these people that were in the band, okay? And they all wrote, sang, or performed, or played an instrument in this band. So when they were in the recording studio making the Edge of Night, or whatever it was, the name of it, the second album, right? They were all there. They were all there making the music. So why didn't the reporter, which you'd think would say, well, can you tell me about the songs that you guys were making? You see what I mean? Why does she have to have the if she can't find the tapes, at least she would want to write down what the songs were about and have them play some of the chords or sing some of the lyrics. You see what I mean? That was the one flaw that really irked me about the movie, was the fact that it's a reporter, a seasoned reporter, that's going to run this huge story about the disappearance of Eddie, and that is he still alive, that type of thing, but doesn't even ask anyone, that the drummer, the bassoon player, the piano player, any of them. Didn't ask a single one of them, well, give me some lyrics from some of the songs on the album, or play me some of the music. You see, that right there just went, out the window. I kept saying, why? How come she didn't ask any of these questions? You think a reporter would ask that from band members,
But this movie wasn't written by somebody in Realville. This movie was written by people that are in lofty fucking liberal land.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
what I
have an
mean.
idea of how the world should be.
Not really
They have
music
no idea how the world works.
So yeah, that I just thought that was really kind of like that took me down a few notches when it came to the reporter's character. That was a flaw in the writing of the script, and just like you said, or it was in the director's flaw, because that's something a director is supposed to direct the actors. He's supposed to say, "This is what I want to see. I want it to unfold like this. I want it to flow this way," or whatever. They direct the actors to act, and when the director never asks that question, then the actors are just going to act whatever's in the script, and just that's it. There's nobody telling them what they want more of, or they want to see this more, they want to see that, or they don't want to see something. And that's what a director is supposed to do. So when you said that about the director, I started thinking a little deeper about different things that I remember that I didn't like. And I was like, you're right. It isn't editing, because normally that's the first thing I go for, is I start ripping apart the editor because they sucked with the music or whatever it was. But I didn't see that in this movie. I thought the editor did a wonderful job. It seemed like the music was great. I just absolutely loved the choice of the band that they chose. And I thought that Michael Pare did a great job of portraying the lead singer and actually looking like he's actually involved in singing, really singing.
Yeah, he did a good,
They did great, all of them.
performance art.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to knock his performance. His performance is fine. It's the fact that the role he has is completely not suited for what I know to be in Realville. And this movie wasn't written for Realville. This movie's written for fucking people at fucking SW, South by Southwest. It's written for fucking people that don't live in the real world, for people that want to live in an apartment the rest of their life and never mow their own lawn, pay their own taxes. Hey there, Soy-Based Jeremy. Congratulations, new homeowner. For those people that don't want to live like a real person, this movie's perfect for. But this movie's not written for the common man, because the common person would see this. And we all have a friend that got involved with music to some degree. Either they're the guy at church that he directs the 5 or 10 person band that really doesn't make anything but a joyful noise, or maybe somebody that actually does really good with music, and on Friday nights you can go see him play the piccolo at your local dive bar, and they make it enough for tips, beer, and throwing an extra tank of fuel in their car or their truck. And every one of us knows a guy like that. But this movie should be written with a perspective of, this is how a band is set up. Matthew does not play a support character like I would think he should. Instead, Matthew's playing the lead singer the way a lead singer should be played. And Michael Pare, not a bad guy, just not the assertiveness that you need to be a frontman. And I really have a big issue with how this movie's set up. And worse yet, I didn't even feel like it was really truly the 60s, because the 60s should, especially 63, you should still be feeling a lot of 1957 and 1958. You really should. And
I did. When it came to Saul singing, his music was all based in the 50s. And I think that's why they chose Michael to portray the character for this band, because he's the one that ends up driving off a bridge because they can't see his vision. Other people are so stuck in that genre of music, they can't envision the future of music. Just like what The reporter says at the end when she's standing on the bridge about how they're still not ready, and she said we don't. And I honestly don't believe it. We may never be ready. See that point of view, and I can see that's why they chose him to portray that character because I
Yeah,
thought he did a good job for that person.
I think in a different time, I think if Michael Pare was like another 20 or 30 years younger, I think they would choose him to play
What?
like,
Look
hey,
what Flavy just
hold on,
said.
hold on, hold on,
No,
follow me
look
here.
what Flavy said in the chat.
Yeah, I just read it on Harry Sisson's Twitter that he's got prostate cancer.
I had no idea.
This is where
No,
Bert starts to
I
dance.
never heard that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but that
All
was
right,
shocking to me.
I'm okay. We'll discuss that later during the meme section of our broadcast.
Okay.
This movie, to me, like it should have. I just didn't feel like I was dipped in this movie, and it really just the time frame. Like I never felt like it was completely in it. Uh, Matthew Lawrence does play a good asshole. He plays a wonderful asshole in this movie.
Yeah.
Michael Pare, uh, don't know why the fuck he's in a band. He should be driving a forklift at fucking Lowe's or something because he just doesn't seem like the type of guy that should be in a band. He seems like the type of guy that should be at his own house, mixing his own music. 30 years later, he would be living with his parents in the basement, making his own records, which don't sell.
Yeah.
And that's just how some things are. Sometimes you have a product that nobody else wants, and it takes sometimes maybe a decade for it to get embraced. There was a game for PC back in 2006, 2007. That was really a banger called Crisis. And it was such a neat game, but it had a really hard set of requirements for you to be able to meet as a gamer because you had to basically buy a brand new everything just so you could be able to run it at 30 frames a second or maybe 20. And for years, it was the gold standard in magazines and publications and on websites when they would discuss a new computer, a new laptop, a new graphics card. Will it run Crisis? Will it run Crisis? And that is still talked about today, even though it's almost 20 years later, because this was such a fucking game that it forced innovation within the various manufacturers and designers of these computers, and it forced gamers to get out of the 32-bit era if they wanted to play it. You had to bump up your gaming rate. If it was on a console, you had to buy the brand new console to play Crisis. And sometimes maybe your music will be like that. This movie actually had that happen because it was released in '83 and in '84 it took off thanks to Viacom, who owned MTV, who owned HBO. And only because of that is because this movie is what we're talking about today. Otherwise, it had been swept under the rug, forgotten like Hawk the Slayer. All right, now that I'm done with that, Janet,
Well, I wanted to say one more thing about the director, something I dug up I thought was interesting because you
okay.
don't get to hear a lot about what the director tries to do to make it more believable. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because, like I said, sometimes the director's real hands on, and other time it's all the other people, you know, the second crew, the ADs, the assistants, and stuff that are doing all the work. And the director just sits there and expects everybody to know what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So it just depends. But I thought this was interesting. It says Davison had the actors who played in Eddie's band rehearse as if they were getting ready for a real concert. Pare remembers, he said, the first time we played together as a band was at a college concert. An odd thing happened. At first, the extras simply did what they were told. Then, as the music heated up, so did the audience. They weren't play acting anymore. The screaming, stomping, and applause became, spontaneous. He said he recalls one by one, the kids began standing up in their seats, screaming and raising their hands in rhythm and applause. A few girls made a dash for the stage, cheering at Michael's shirt. We certainly hadn't told them to do that, but we kept the cameras rolling. And additionally, New Jersey magician Southside Johnny was hired as a technical advisor for the film. So I think that was great. Just like I said, I felt he did a phenomenal job. acting like he was singing the real band's music.
Yeah. One of their practice sessions they had was actually at a Bon Jovi concert, and they had a better reaction from the crowd than the opening band of
Yeah.
Skid Row, which
Yeah, I can believe it.
I can't understand that, but I think, oh, wait a second, Bon Jovi's people versus Skid Row's people. Skid Row, if it's from the first album of Skid Row, then I wouldn't see a problem between Bon Jovi and Skid Row. Slave to the Grind comes out in 1991, and the people that are listening to Slave to the Grind are guys with bolts in their fucking noses, and like they're completely covered in leather, and they're riding motorcycles, which should be outlawed because they pollute so much. And
Yeah.
like they lost the entire teeny bopper crowd because Skid Row's first album is memorable for the miserable ballad "I Remember You," and that's like the one bad thing about hair metal. Like they have a fucking ballad on every goddamn cassette, and then every 13-year-old girl plays that song or forces radio stations when they have request time, and 50,000 kids in your area will call and force the station to play a hair metal ballad, and you'll hear
Yeah.
the same three miserable chords in that ballad over and over and over. I'll shut up now. I'm not upset. I'm not upset. That's not PTSD, guys. Just nostalgia.
But yeah, but the thing is, it's if it's good music, and they're doing a good job at making it believable, and they're shocked because they didn't expect the music to be good. You see what I mean? So I think that's just like what they were saying about when they released this. And this is remember way back when we first started doing that. What did I say? I said that I was worried that movie theaters would just become non-existent. Remember when I said that?
Yep.
That it's going to all go to streaming. So we're going to see more and more and more stuff go to streaming services, and you're going to have different ones instead of ABC. You're going to have this streaming service, and then instead of NBC, you're going to have that streaming service. See what I mean? It's not going to be where you get on TV and have the major channels. It's going to be like 20, 50, 60 different streaming services, and whichever one offers what you are interested in. Like right now, Shudder's doing really good, and it's almost all horror, scary.
That's all it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be horror.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I'm saying. But you got people that are paying for a subscription to just horror channel. See, you would never have thought in years ago that would ever happen, because horror was like way down at the bottom, B-rate crap that nobody wanted to watch. It was really a certain small group of people that like horror movies. That's why so many big production companies really didn't put much money into making horror. It was just something that they threw the extra cash at as a tax write-off, basically, right? But look at it now. You have an industry all around horror movies and TV series, which is great, because that's me. I fit in there because I like thrillers, and I like Seven, the movie Seven, things like that. It interests me. So it's nice to see that we're getting more of a variety. And as long as people keep putting their money where their mouth is and purchasing what they want to purchase, and not leaning towards something simply because the cable channel says, yeah, this is free. Okay, all the free shit that they put on your cable thing is all crap. I don't watch any of it. So I go through the thing that I actually sit with the favorite button and go click, click, just on what I like. And you might have 20 things on this giant thing with 380 things, and I got 20 because there's nothing else on that's worth watching. So if you take all that off and I don't have to pay for it, man, I'm going to save some money because I only want to pay for certain things that I'm interested in. But it's nice. It's nice to be able to start having a variety of something to watch that you actually would pay money to see at the theater. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that I told you that years ago when we first started, was what, 3 years ago now?
Yep.
That I really believe that's the way we're going. And it's getting, every day that goes by, it's getting closer and closer to where there's not going to be anything. Less and less theaters. I mean, half the theaters, I think almost half, closed down during COVID. So you
All
know.
right, we're gonna break this discussion real quick. While we're doing this, if you guys have seen this movie, go ahead and throw your score or your numerical score, whatever it may be, in the chat while I have this discussed here. Breaking. This is at 3:30 p.m. this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
This is off of Gateway Pundit. 82-year-old Joe Biden has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. The cancer is reportedly spread to Joe Biden's bones. Communist News Network reported, CNN reported, former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer, according to a statement from his personal office on Sunday. It has spread to his bones. Last week, President Joe Biden was seen for a new finding of a prostate nodule after experiencing urinary symptoms. On Friday, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, characterized by a Gleason score of 9, grade group 5, with metastasis in the bones, the statement says. It continued. While this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. Biden and his family are reviewing treatment options with physicians, the statement says. As previously reported, Joe Biden secretly spent a time at the hospital in Philly a couple of Fridays ago after doctors discovered the small nodule in the prostate. The discovery required further evaluation, according to NYT. However, the Joe Biden spokesperson has not provided any more details at this time. Some outlets are reporting less than 6 months to live. And if this is the case, if it's true, you're going to think I'm a dick, but good riddance, because you fucking sniff kids and other things. But if not, then this is just the deep state getting him swept out of the way so they can just put him in a fucking private manner, let him eke out his last few years out of the public eye and scrutiny, because everybody knows that he loves little kids. And that's what he does. That's his fucking MO. That's what he's done for years. He's a piece of shit. It's in his daughter's diary. Fuck you. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
All right.
I wrote in the chat because Bone had said that he had just watched a good one today. So I said, "What did you watch?" So hopefully he'll put it in there. So maybe we can see if I haven't seen it or not. Because I do like scary movies.
Yeah. Gary Busey portrays a good Buddy Holly, says Stone Cold.
Yeah, that was good. I saw that.
Bone says, Bruce, they were called power ballads. Yeah, they were. God, they were terrible. Like every single one sounded fucking same. From Damn Yankees to Cinderella to Scorpion, they all had a power ballad. It was the same 4 chords that would be repeated. 3 of them would be repeated indefinitely. Just 3.5 minutes of a misery. Woke up to the sound of pouring rain. Wind would whisper, and I dream of you. It drills itself into your cerebral cortex. Yeah.
Where does Flatey live? What state?
He's a Pennsylvania man.
Okay, because I had terrible storms last night, and I went out this morning to let open my coop, and there's a huge, because in the back I have this big little nook in my trees, and in the back there's bamboo growing, okay, to separate me and the property next to us. The guy planted bamboo so we couldn't really see through there because of the way he was trying to get
obstruction.
But the thing is, I went out there this morning and I was like, wow, it's bright out here. And when I looked up to the right, the 2 trees that were out there are laying, the whole tops are gone. They're laying. And I was lucky that the way they fell, they didn't land on my coop. So I'll take some pictures and post them later. But I was like, what the? I couldn't believe it. We must have had a really, really bad windy storm because the tops of 2 looked like healthy trees, missing my coop half down, and there's a huge opening now where sun can come in into that nook, because I was shocked. And there's limbs everywhere in my yard. I mean, all over the place. So yeah, we had some storms go through last night. So that's why I was asking him where he lived, because he said he had terrible weather too.
So Bone says the movie is Let Me In on Netflix. It was really good. It's very scary, almost too brutal.
I'm going to write that down.
I had to look away a couple of times.
Awesome. I'm going to have to go check it out.
Glam rock was frowned upon when I was a kid. Yeah, that was what we were growing up with when I was in my early teen years. Cinderella, LA Guns, Guns N' Roses. That shit came out in like 86, 87.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love them.
That was always a thing back in the mid 80s, late 80s. And then they got really big with Under the Bridge.
Well, the fact they come out in socks and tube socks, and
Yeah,
they're only the tube socks are covering certain areas of their body.
yeah, they're wearing it on their dicks.
I know, it's freaking awesome. So, everybody had their own
I
thing.
love you. God,
They they set their drums on fire and shit. I mean, I just stuff like that. It's entertainment. You're paying for entertainment, and you should get entertainment. And if you like it, you buy another ticket, right?
yep.
That's how they make money. And that's what I'm saying. We are the reason why all of these people are famous. It's we're the ones that spend our hard-earned money to buy movie tickets or to buy their memorabilia, T-shirts, whatever they're selling, posters, and their music and tickets to their movies. So if they want us to buy their stuff, then they need to make stuff that we want. And as long as they make stuff that we want, we'll spend our money. So I think that's the best way to, and hopefully they'll keep it that way instead of them trying to make us think it's something because we don't buy more. I mean, honestly, years ago when the only way to get our entertainment was to go to the movie theater that wasn't on TV, I would buy multiple tickets. I'd go see it more than once. If it was really kick ass, I wanted to see it again, I would go buy a ticket. But today they don't do that because if we stream it, right, and we watch it and it sucks, why would I pay for it again? Just like I wouldn't when I go to the movies. So that movie shouldn't make as much money and it shouldn't do as well. That's just the
Well,
way.
I mean, as long as Disney holds the reins to major franchises, we're going to have to look to middle budget solutions in order to create, a true phenomenon of blockbusters again. Because right now they're not doing any favors for Marvel. They're not doing any favors for Star Wars. Anything they've got their hands on turns into a fucking peckered up mess. And nobody wants to watch fucking Little Mermaid live action. I haven't heard anybody talk good about it, even though
Even that other movie wasn't the Snow White, didn't it bomb like really good? I mean, huge bomb.
it's the worst bomb they've ever had.
Good. It should be. I didn't see it. I didn't watch it. I love the memes though they got came out from it.
I like the AI, and it's the first time I've said that.
Yeah,
I
that's good.
typically I fucking hate toasters, guys. I don't want a fucking toaster to try to outsmart me. I understand at some point it will, but until that point, I want to be smarter than the toaster. I don't like smart items. I don't like smart devices. I don't want a TV to you've got this in your algorithm. You're going to watch this because you like this. No, I don't need that. Let me have the choice in the remote, and I'll fucking dictate what I watch. Flatey says, only vaguely remember seeing this movie as a kid. Pretty sure it was years after the release on Prison. Thought it was okay.
Mhm.
I remember.
Yeah.
Moment of truth for you. What's your score?
For me,
Hmm.
well, I enjoyed the movie. I've seen it multiple times. Just like I said, my very first experience was watching my parents dance with each other to the music from the movie, and they were adorable. I mean, when they were doing I don't know what it's called, where you hold a hand and you go back and forth, and I don't know, you dance together as a couple, and they're swinging and dancing. I just love it, and I'll never forget that as long as I live. Since I've lost my mother, so it's like a big memory for me. I'm going to give this a solid 8
Okay.
out of 10.
Like I said, I rate this movie at a 50 out of 100. It really just it occupied time for me, and I got more and more critical as time went on. I just disagree with so many things about the film, and that's fine. Everybody has their own
Mm-hmm.
capacity of how they judge a film. There's other movies out there that are, for me, musicals that are much better. The
Mm-hmm.
Rose. I would much rather watch The Rose than I watch this, and I'm not a fan of Bette Midler. But The Rose is a cultural uh, point in time, and Bette Midler put on a performance that really, for her, uh, the time where she came out with that was really electrifying performance. I thought it was really good. Now I haven't seen The Rose in 40 years or 30 years, 35 years, but it was a fairly good movie. We were forced to watch that in English class. Go figure that Ruthless People just come out. Bette Midler lost like a chunk of weight with the filming of that movie, and our teacher, Mr. Maine, had a chub for her, which I can understand because Bette Midler did look pretty good in that movie towards the
Oh.
end after she had lost it all.
I loved Bette Midler. I used to think that she was so talented because she could act and she could sing, and she was funny. She made me laugh.
Yeah.
So and Cher too. I mean, there's very few people that can sing and be a good actor and actress. So I was really surprised when I saw a Chicago and Richard Gere was in it. I was really shocked on how well he did in
That
that
didn't
movie.
surprise me at all. There was a movie he did called "And the Band Played On,"
I
and
never saw that.
it's about the initial discoveries of the AIDS virus, and Richard Gere's in it. And like, if you ever wondered if Richard Gere could play a convincingly gay man, absolutely. Like he's never left that role, in my opinion, ever since I saw it.
Yeah, it's hard. See, that's what I'm saying. It's hard for an actor if they, especially if they do a really good performance, to not get typecast as that character.
Well, he's just always been gay to me. I mean, even in
Oh,
the movie First Night,
okay.
where
Well,
he
that's
played
totally different
Lancelot,
then.
even when he played Lancelot in First Night, I fucking thought he was gay because I just couldn't imagine him fucking, Guinevere, and it never fucking
I
happened.
never ever saw him or look at him and think of him as gay at all. Oh, not at all.
I mean, okay, but nobody thought of that of Rock Hudson during his heyday either.
Well, what was the guy that was in Victor Victoria again? I always forget his name. And he was in the Last Starfighter.
Gonna make me go to the. You have a computer in front of you too.
Uh, he, I never thought of him as gay either. So,
I don't know if he's gay or not, and I don't really care. But like with the gear, like it's more like you see that when he rounds the corner before you see who it is. So you got with Last Starfighter, yeah, Robert Preston. I don't know if he's gay. I don't care.
yeah, I love Robert Preston.
But Robert Preston's played a character in various movies where he actually came off as a genuine character actor,
Mm-hmm.
and you actually wanted to hang out with him and listen to him bullshit because you think he'd probably be pretty cool to hang out with.
Oh, I bet he was so much fun.
I bet he was a blast.
In person.
Richard Gere never gives me that feeling like he'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, Richard Gere reminds me of one of these East Coast pieces of shit that's like, we just need to have love in our heart for all these people that don't agree with us. He actually said that, like, in front of a bunch of firefighters in 2002 in New York. What just happened? Oh, yeah, the 2 towers came down. Oh, no, the 3 towers came down, excuse me.
Yeah.
But, fucking Richard Gere said that in front of a bunch of firefighters, and that was the moment where I'm like, ha! I told you he's gay!
So yeah, no, you told me you had gaydar a long time ago, so I guess I believe you. I don't have it. I'm shocked sometimes, by people when they tell me, men and women, oh, you're gay for real? I never would have known. So I guess it just goes right over my head.
Like, how do I know that I'm not gay? Because like my female friends that I've got a good friendship with have no problem letting me motorboat. It's great. That's how you know you're not gay. And that's how your dad knows you're not gay. Because you're looking at boobs and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait for my kids to feed on you. I love you. No, it's not. That's fucking why you're boobs. It's like,
it's funny.
It's hard coded into us.
Honestly, I would love to be able to go to a restaurant and sit with you and your dad and your mom, and just to see some of the conversations, just to get I would just love to see your parents react to some of the things that you talk about. I just would love to see that.
I'd rather you hang out with me and my friends because you'd actually get more of an unfiltered version of Bruce. But me around my mom, I'm trying to be like the good little kid. Like you ever see a Jewish kid that's trying to avoid the guilt trip that his mom could throw on him? That's me.
Well, I've done that with my mother. I would like, oh, I can't say those things because my mom's in here. She's going to throw her flip flop and hit me upside the head, with that attitude.
Break her hand on me instead. Lady says, for my vague recollections and Bruce's review, I'll give it a 4. Sounds like the Dawson Creek of the early 80s flicks. It kind of
a little, maybe a little. But I didn't watch Dawson Creek, so.
there's some good things about the movie. Don't take my review as gospel. Watch it yourself. See if you like it. See if you hate it. This movie has a lot of things that are good in it. The editing and the cinematography are good.
And the soundtrack is really good. I really liked it.
It's probably purchasable. I'll say that much. You could probably
Mhm.
buy the soundtrack and really enjoy it. Aside from that, next week with Bear and maybe others, we will be having a film that
Another choice of mine. So be ready, guys.
I saw this movie on opening night with my friends, and we watched The 13th Warrior. It was directed by John McTiernan of Die Hard and other quality movie fame, and stars Antonio Banderas and a bunch of people that I should recognize, but I don't. This is a movie that
Omar Sharif.
What?
Omar Sharif's in it. Plays his father.
Yeah. The intro to the movie, I think up to the point where the sailing ends, like that's for me the best part of the movie. I love the first 20 minutes of the film. The rest of the movie, it's okay, but the first 20 minutes of that movie sets it up perfectly, and how he learns how to speak their language. For us, second edition AD&D guys, it really showed us how like a bard from another country or another culture would come to hang out with you, and eventually he'd start speaking your language because he was just around you so much.
Well, see, that's not how I took it. The first time I saw this movie, I cried when he was sitting there at the fire.
Mm-hmm.
He's listening to them, and all of a sudden, he can understand what they're saying because they're talking about his mother.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that he was praying, and he got the gift of speaking in tongues. That's what I believed, and I still believe that. That's basically what it was supposed to be. So that's why I cried during that scene when I first time I've ever saw it, because that to me is what the gift of speaking in tongues would be given to you for, because he's on a quest, right?
Yeah,
And the
he's
reason,
forced to go on a quest.
yeah, but the
He's
thing,
told to go die because he gets caught with somebody's wife, which is a
yeah,
very bard thing to do.
but the thing is, that's how I took it. And to me, that is one reason why this movie is one of my favorites, because when people try to get me to believe, okay, I'm not trying to be mean, okay, because I am in the South,
Janet.
but
It's going to
what?
get real. Go ahead, Janet.
Okay. But I have gone to a few churches with friends, okay, different states, Oklahoma, Texas, and Louisiana. Okay, I'll just say that. And I'm not going to say the religions I went to, but you go to the church and you're sitting there, and all of a sudden, people are getting up and falling on the floor, and they're saying gibberish like blah, stuff like that, and I'm just kind of going, what the hell's going on? And then later, when we're done, they're talking about how they were filled with the Holy Spirit and they were speaking in tongues, and I was like, well, what I believe from my dad's dad, which was a pastor, that speaking in tongues is a gift from God so that you can communicate with someone who doesn't speak your language. Like, let's say you're in a plane and it crashes in the jungles, and you come out and there's only a couple of you, and you need to get somewhere, or you need to find a way to survive, right? And you meet some natives and you pray to God, please, God, help me get my information across to these people. And then you can all of a sudden understand them and they can understand you. You can speak their language. That's a gift from God, to speak in tongues so you can communicate with someone, to save people, or for a miracle, basically. So that's what I use. This movie is one of the reasons I've used this movie many times to get people to understand what the miracle from God in speaking in tongues is. So that's how I vision this. And to me, it's a very emotional movie. I just really love the certain parts of the movie when it comes to that, because it's very hands-on when it comes to religion. To me, that's my point of view of it. Even though I love it, it's just a wonderful movie. I just love it. I can't believe you don't like it after 20 minutes. It's sad, because I just love this whole movie. I'm getting some more stores, it looks like. But I got to go out there and take pictures after we're done. I'll post them in your Gilded so that people can see them, of
This
the
is kind of
top
funny.
trees that fell.
This is the DNC. The polls are bad. More trans. More illegals. More getting laid, says David Hogg. David Hogg. Out the window.
Oh.
Prepare for a white girl summer.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Democrats in 2020 to 2024. We're in charge now. Everybody's gay. Your children belong to us. White people must suffer. Freedom is over. And in 2025, why are you fascists so mean?
That's terrible.
It's fucking great.
I know. Shouldn't laugh.
No peace with evil. I like this. It's the twisted frog meme, but
Yeah.
the angelic frog of vengeance. Me waiting for them to release the Epstein's list. Yeah, there's something about that. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino just got in front of a news tart, and they were talking about how no, Epstein definitely killed himself. And I'm like, what? I was not expecting that, but in the back of my mind this entire time, I've been fearing that would be the release results, because you can't have a certain group of people be exposed for the criminals they are. And it looks like that's exactly
yeah, the sad truth is that
it's called a deep state.
Yeah. So now Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are parts of it, right?
It looks like it.
So we might as well just hang up our hats. It's over. We're never going to find out anything because there is no one left.
The only hope we really have is if just private citizens start making their lawns nicer and greener.
Well, and don't tell anyone because you will lose everything.
It's hard to disguise a lawn. Disney's single mom coming all the time.
That's sad too.
Comey is about right now. It's my PIN number. Yeah, that's the ticket. Fuck Comey. Black women are just naturally more beautiful. Nice wig, by the way. Damn. Kind of goes hard.
Mm-hmm.
Mexicans, when they have no clue what you're saying. Oh shit! That hits. Man pretends to be a cow in milking competition, gets jacked off for hours. He's at the lineup. He's only 5'5".
Oh, that's disgusting.
P. Diddy, grab my penis.
Probably did.
That meme will never die. She should have never held a fucking paper up. Your borders, your streets, your stores, and the president with ass cancer.
Oh my God.
Beach. We don't really steal memes. We just pass them around like your mom.
Where is this? Oh, this is your timeline? Okay, I was thinking it was your Discord. I go, I thought, it's on your Gilded, but no.
He's probably on the Epstein list.
That's funny.
HBO Max meetings be like, no more woke trans bullshit, more incest and anti-Christian bullshit. Yes to both of you. That's right. That's what they're going to do. They're still mad. Democrats, and you tell them that the waste and fraud need to stop. How dare you! There goes the Wendy's in Kenosha. On January 20th, we're doing the hokey pokey. Put the right ones in, take the left ones out.
Well, we did a few.
Yeah.
But apparently it doesn't make any difference because now they're all liars and they're no different.
Everybody with property buy a wood chipper. That's my advice. And learn how to be quiet about it. Meme of the day. Watch how easily it absorbs your money. That hurts.
Was that the flag from Ukraine?
Sadly.
Oh, okay. I was trying to go, what flag is that really quickly, trying to remember. But go ahead.
I was today years old when I learned Michelob and Keystone joined forces to create a super light beer. Search MK Ultra and learn all about it.
Mm-hmm.
Progressive narrative demand unwavering in loyalty, branding skeptics as heretics in their new religion. Cults. Not really funny. More accurate. What?
Snortapoopus is in the chat.
Snortapoopus Skipper. How you doing, sir? Do you suffer from shyness? Do you suffer Do you sometimes wish you were more assertive? Ask your doctor or pharmacist about tequila. Janet, you should do tequila before these streams.
Do what?
You should do tequila before these streams.
Oh, tequila makes me throw up. You mean you want me to be more laid back?
No. What's the genesis for you to become more outspoken?
I've got drinks, but those little drinks that I drink, or fuzzy navels,
What do you think about Fireball?
mimosas,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. I don't like beer, and I don't like tequila because I think it tastes terrible.
You don't drink it for the taste.
Well, I like to drink stuff for the taste.
I'm a reasonable man being made to do unreasonable things, but I'm also on a budget.
Wow, that's kind of cool looking, though.
It is. I did not steal your meme. I merely discovered it.
That's cute.
Please, can we have property tax relief? I'm drowning. Texas House. Best I can do is criminalize memes. Fuck you, Texas.
Yeah, I did hear a rumor that one state was gonna.
If you're a public figure, you can't make memes. You can't post memes. They'll figure out a way to make everybody.
Figure? Is it because they said that Trump made that thing with the Pope?
Yeah.
That's
no, this has been going on for like 3 weeks. We got to figure out a way to reverse it because they're eventually going to criminalize anybody who makes a meme about a political target. When you actually go for the kill on the big boss and accidentally level him up, Gangsta Trump plus 25% power.
Love that one. That one's funny.
Everyone is a disinformation agent except for me and my 3 friends.
Yep.
James Comey's ass still sore. Is that a flashlight, you absolute peasant? Let civilization fall or draw 25. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's funny.
A meme is never truly born until it is stolen. Confucius, 472 BC.
Because when it gets stolen, it proves how good it is.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Me, if everything goes according to plan. Oh my God.
I mean, today's vehicles, I don't even think could carry that big ball.
No.
It's so cheap.
Die.
Yeah. I don't think that we even drive. But did you see that? Did you see that dog in the back seat?
Mm-hmm.
That's how big that raccoon was. It was huge. It was the biggest raccoon I've ever seen.
Did you see the raccoon that was smoking a meth pipe?
No. The one in the front seat when that cop was pulled those people over and he was going through their stuff and arrested that lady.
The lady had like 4 teeth in her head and she's like,
yeah,
oh, man, he's got a crack pipe. That's your crack pipe. And he's smoking. He's got his mouth to it. Apparently he knows this thing. And she's like, well, let me get it. He's like, nope, that's evidence. I'll take it. Stop paying for OnlyFans, fuckers. Do not pay OnlyFans. Sony, we need a traditional Japanese couple for our next series. Netflix, say no more.
Oh.
Wife is like, look at that drunk guy. Husband, who is he? Wife, 10 years back, he proposed to me and I rejected him. Husband, oh my God, he's still celebrating.
That's terrible. That's horrible.
Liberals on X, once they receive the daily talking points from the DNC.
Yeah, robots.
That's all they are.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not a dragon believer, Margaret. Fucking love JD Vance memes. Liberal democracy. Exclude anybody who rejects progressive orthodoxy. That James would have something to say about that. No one is above the law. How strange that they would arrange themselves like that.
Yeah, isn't it?
Hostess presents Star Spangled Ding Dong.
Ding dongs. I love that one too. That's good. That's a good one. I'd steal that one if I knew how to get it.
Janet, your naivete with computer is one of the reasons why I think you're adorable, and I'm sure everybody else too.
Hey, I'm learning. Look how far I've come.
That is true.
Can learn.
Leftism amplifies media narratives while burying inconvenient facts. Yes.
Oh, so bad.
Here's the first Miss Universe first Miss Universe contest in 1952. Anybody here see anything different than what we got today? Anything at all?
No penises.
No penises. I love it. Grandma's hot. Drake, Drake's son, Drake's wife, and Drake's wife's trainer.
Oh God, it's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Does he bite? No, but he can hurt you in other ways. Found one! How's your sister doing? She's fine, thank you. How's your sister doing? Shut the fuck up, motherfucker.
I don't get it.
That's how men and women talk to each other.
Oh, okay.
Civilian owns 490 million guns. Civilians own 490 million guns, it says a SAT ATF. That's
so far.
You know about so far. We the people.
Yeah, I love like that one too.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Normalization of daycare and feminism. God damn it.
Yep.
I'm not even nearly drunk yet. I'm talking like this. It's terrible. Today's specials: crushing dystopian sadness for $2.55.
Oh, that is funny.
There's no way we went to the moon. There's just no way. There's no way they faked it. There's just no way.
Yeah, I can see Joe Rogan doing that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't trust him. Anyone that would come out in public and say they voted for Bernie Sanders is not someone I trust with any information.
Do not dip your finger in that tub of hummus. Go ahead.
Take a
hello, shitty.
Oh. That's a horrible bathroom. I wouldn't even want to go in there.
Got this new product in at work. I don't think it's actually as marked. Vibrating noises. Mount Gay Barbados rum. Mount Gay Eclipse. Vibrating noises.
I don't get it.
The box is vibrating, but it's from Mount Gay.
Oh, I still don't understand it, but oh well. I just don't understand it.
So I took your meme, but I liked it first because I ain't an asshole. Rule of acquisition number 286. If somebody posts a quality meme, you're not only right to acquire it, you're obligated to acquire it. I love Ferengis. No, you can't build a woke authoritarian society using laundered tax dollars and massive fraud. Sorry. Old Chucky Bronson there. God bless that man. Tell me a little about yourself. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't hang out with women. I go to bed at 2200, get up at 0600, quiet, calm. You're perfect for me. When I get out of prison, everything will change.
Yeah.
It's that one.
I don't get it.
Did you ever watch V-Series?
Yeah.
Okay. This is some socialite, journalist, tart woman that every time she opens her mouth, it's like some other talking point. Last thing she said was she was romanticizing Luigi. She was talking about Luigi in a way that, like, she's replaced a set of batteries to him before. and she's all about it. She never talks about anything that constructs America. She's always deconstructing America. She hates Western civilization. And then we rip her fucking mask off, and she's a fucking Soros person.
Oh, okay.
This is a true story.
That's a cute little squirrel. It's really fat.
I can't imagine. I mean, have you ever had a New York donut?
Mm-mm.
1997. In 20 years, I bet we will have flying cars and teleportation. In 2025, put this alarm clock in your vagina and wake up to an orgasm. That's where we are, kids. So tell me, Mr. Rabbit, how deep does this rabbit hole go? Memes are not as funny as they should be. Liberals, but I can't live without ad hominem. They can't argue either. We already saw that one. Sarah Connors watching you masturbate. Just kidding. She's watching you use AI for everything. Yeah, that's why I don't like AI, because I watch too many fucking movies like Terminator. I watched Captain Power as a kid. Just a little scarring. Yes, right here. The only problem is I can't hear bitches anymore.
That's that woman that fell asleep.
She fell asleep in Congress.
Yeah, in Congress.
Your test came back. You're retarded.
Oh.
Jews calculating exactly how much change is at the bottom of a fountain. Oh, wow. Nasal wallet. That's awesome. Okay. So here's Brittany Griner. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That looks like Brittany Griner. It's probably Brittany Griner. 104% tariffs on China, except for my boy Tony from LCS Signs. He gets a pass. The music industry has standards, apparently. Not banned. Banned. Yeah.
I don't understand that one either.
It was a rapper that's kind of pro-America.
Oh.
Kansas put the money where the mouth is and investing millions in Israeli bonds. Arkansas invests in Israel. Jesus Christ, all the states are investing in Israel. And then you got Bugs Bunny. No.
Yeah, I saw that ad on TV or something before last few days.
Really? You're going to do that right in front of my frog? Harumph. Fuck around for a living and forget about hell. Find out about hell. Venus flytraps do not have to eat bugs to survive, yet every day they choose violence.
Good. Wish they did more.
Wait, it's all communism? Always has been. There'd be 5 or 6 jars full of shit already, full of coins.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that was not funny.
Oh my God. What a terrible couch.
I don't even know how to respond to that. It looks like...
Is that from like Saudi Arabia or something?
I don't know. Like, you have this weird statue in back.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever have a statue like that and gift it to me, because I'll suck on a tit every time I walk through the door. It's like there's a fucking statue of the Yellow Rose of Corpus Christi, Selena, the singer, and they have her with the most sexualized statue I've ever seen, and everybody's rubbed the brass really shiny on her titties. It's kind of like creepy. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's like the Buddha dolls. People rub its belly. It's always shiny.
This will not be not funny.
Yeah, I watched it. That was so funny. It was hilarious. Apple elephant with its ass eaten off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's terrible but funny.
Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Be kind to animals. Ignore gun laws. Be weird. Fight globalism. I'm here for you. Thanks. I'm going through a tough time, so it means a lot. I'm sorry, I lost all my contacts. Who is this? This is your Uber driver. I'm here to pick you up. That's been spread around a few times. Liberty, guns, beer, turbos, awesome.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna stop the meme sharing because they're not as funny as they should be. The longer the memes go, it's just I'm not seeing funny.
And where are those at? What page do you find just all those memes one after the other? On what?
Janet's wanting to get the memes page.
Yeah,
I gotta scroll up on it.
So I can put it on my. Is that on X?
It's on X.
Okay.
It's Liberty Cappy.
Liberty Cappy with a C.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Send it to me. I don't have to try to put it in there and try to find it.
If you guys want to see the memes, there's plenty of memes out there. Here's some from Liberty Cappy status. My name is Bruce. With Janet, we'll be with some others with us next week. Really had a good time. Bones, like, I remember watching this movie. I haven't really watched it since. Is that 13th Warrior, or is that Eddie and the Cruisers? Just wondering. Sort of Poopus of the wood chipper tribe says we have wood chipper standing by.
I have a wood chipper, but it's really little. It's like for limbs, little limbs.
You need to make it bigger. You need a bigger wood chipper, Janet.
And I set it right in my garden, and I just chipped the wood right in there. Like right now, I got all them limbs. I'll just have to go out and get them and just slowly put them in there and chop them up. It looks pretty good. But yeah, I'm gonna get some pictures. 13th Warrior, yeah. Well, you can watch it with us if you want.
Yeah.
Just let me know, and I'll send you a link, or Bruce can. You can watch it with us.
Yeah. I'm going to see if it holds up. Back in the day, I think I gave it like 3 out of 5 stars. It was passable for a Friday night, but I was with friends, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, I've seen it like 20 times. I had the movie, so yeah, I like it. It's a good movie.
I think I'll watch Midnight Meat Train again before I watch.
No, I've only seen that once.
Okay. Janet, you want to say goodbye for us so we can skedaddle on out of
here?
Thank
you, everyone, for hanging out with us today. I hope we, didn't drive you too nuts, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm so thankful that Bruce got to watch this movie, even though he didn't really enjoy it. I finally got to have 2 movies in a row that I got to pick, because it's been a while since we watched something I chose. So next week will be another one, and I don't know what will be after that one. But next week's the movie I picked too. So I'm excited about it. Hope you guys come see us.